Welcome to Mint Wellness, where we bring you science-backed strategies to help you thrive. From better energy to lasting wellness, we're here to empower your healthiest, happiest life. Let's dive in.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a deep dive into something that I think a lot of us here in Singapore can relate to.
Yeah, for sure.
Burnout.
Absolutely.
We're going to be looking at a report called Singapore Burnout: Causes, Symptoms, and Holistic Wellness Strategies. It's from Mint Wellness.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, so get ready to think about burnout in a whole new way.
Awesome.
Because we're going to be going way beyond just, getting a good night's sleep.
I think what's really interesting about this report is that it kind of frames burnout as like almost a public health issue specific to Singapore.
Yeah.
It's not just you feeling the pressure. It's sort of like a collective experience we all go through in this fast-paced environment.
Yeah, and I think, we all kind of know the basics, right? The long hours, the pressure, the constant striving for success. But what I found really interesting was how Mint Wellness goes beyond those obvious triggers and really tries to dig into the underlying factors that are fueling burnout in Singapore.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I mean, they look at things like chronic inflammation, hormonal imbalances, even vitamin deficiencies as potential root causes.
Right, like they're not just trying to treat the symptoms, they're trying to get to the bottom of it.
It's true.
Like detective work for your health.
Yeah, like a health detective.
Exactly. And they use all sorts of, lab tests and things to get a really clear picture of what's going on.
They do.
Like cortisol levels, thyroid function hormones, nutrient levels, they're checking it all.
And that's how they've uncovered these really fascinating connections.
Mm.
Like, for example, they found that low vitamin D levels can actually contribute to fatigue.
Wow.
Which a lot of people don't realize.
It's amazing how something as simple as sunshine can impact our energy levels and contribute to burnout.
It really is.
And then there's the link between our diet and our gut microbiome, which apparently played a much bigger role in burnout than we might think.
Definitely. And this is where it gets really interesting because it highlights how interconnected our bodies are.
Yeah.
If one system is out of whack, it can trigger a cascade of effects throughout the body.
Right.
So, for instance, did you know that low iron levels, which are often caused by a poor diet, can lead to fatigue, hair loss, and even muscle cramps?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, and that can definitely contribute to feeling burnt out. So to address this specifically, Mint Wellness offers treatments like iron infusions and supplements to target these deficiencies head-on.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. So it's like they're giving your body the exact tools it needs to kind of bounce back from that burnout?
Yeah, exactly.
But what really stood out to me in this whole report were the holistic wellness strategies they recommend.
I was going to say, I love that part.
Yeah, these are not your typical, self-care tips.
Totally.
This is like next level stuff.
Next level.
Yeah, they're really big on tapping into the power of nature. For example, they highlight grounding at the beach.
Oh, yeah, grounding.
I have to admit, when I first read that, I was like, what is that? Just like sitting on the sand?
Right. Like, what does that even mean?
Exactly. But it turns out there's actually more to it than just, soaking up the sun.
It's true. It's about having direct contact with the Earth's surface.
Oh, okay.
And the idea is that this connection actually has all sorts of health benefits.
Interesting.
And when you combine that with the calming environment of the beach, the sounds of the waves, the feeling of the sand, the fresh air, it's like a supercharged relaxation experience.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. So it's like taking that typical advice of, go for a walk and like amplifying it.
Amplifying it, yeah, with nature.
Exactly. And speaking of connecting with nature, they also recommend something called forest bathing or Shinrin-yoku.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not just like a fancy way of saying go for a walk in the woods. There's actual science backing this up.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more about this forest bathing.
So studies have shown that spending time in a forest can actually reduce your stress levels, improve your mood, lower your blood pressure, even boost your immune system. Okay, yeah, I can see how being in nature would, have those kind of effects.
For sure.
But is there something specific about forests that make them so beneficial?
There is. Forests release these compounds called phytoncides, which act like natural aromatherapy.
Really?
Yeah, and they've been shown to lower cortisol, which is that stress hormone we talked about earlier.
Right.
And they also improve mental well-being. So it's not just about the scenery. Your body is actually physically responding to the forest environment.
Wow, so it's like the forest is giving us a natural dose of stress relief.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool.
And while we're on the topic of feeling good, the source also mentions water-based therapies as well.
Okay, like what? Give me some examples.
They talk about spa treatments, massages, aquatherapy, even aqua aerobics.
Okay, so anything that involves being in or around water, basically?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, water is incredibly soothing.
Yeah, I get that.
Those gentle movements, the feeling of buoyancy can really help relax both your body and mind.
Yeah, it's like a gentle hug from the water.
Exactly.
So we've got nature, we've got water. What other holistic strategies are they recommending? Okay, so we talked about grounding at the beach forest, bathing, water-based therapies, all these really cool ways to use nature to de-stress.
Yeah.
But what about those of us who can't, escape to a beach or a forest every time we start to feel burned out?
Right.
What can we do in our everyday lives?
Well, that's where the report's emphasis on movement and mindfulness comes in.
Okay.
These are things you can do no matter where you are.
So, what kind of movement are we talking about?
Well, they specifically mention Pilates, which can be really great for managing stress.
Oh, okay.
Because it focuses on core strength and controlled breathing. It's not just about building muscle. It's about connecting with your body and finding that inner stillness.
Yeah. I've heard good things about Pilates. I've never actually tried it myself.
You should.
Yeah, maybe I should.
Yeah. But of course, any kind of exercise that you enjoy can be helpful. Whether it's going for a walk, taking a yoga class, swimming, the key is to find something you like and do it regularly.
Yeah, and I feel like all those endorphins from exercise probably help with sleep too, right?
Absolutely. Regular exercise can definitely improve sleep quality, which is so important when you're trying to recover from burnout.
Totally. And speaking of things that help us relax and unwind, the report also talks a lot about mindfulness practices.
Yeah, mindfulness is huge.
Like meditation.
Yeah. Meditation's a great example. There are so many great apps out there these days like Calm Headspace, Insight Timer that can guide you through meditations, breathing exercises, even sleep stories.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of those.
Yeah, and if you prefer a more in-person experience, there are a ton of local mindfulness initiatives and community groups here in Singapore.
Cool. So there's something for everyone.
Exactly.
But I gotta admit, the whole meditation thing, it can feel a bit intimidating. I'm not sure I could just sit still and clear my mind like that.
I know it can seem daunting, but the good news is you don't have to be a meditation master to benefit from it. Even just 5 minutes a day can make a difference.
Really? 5 minutes?
Yeah, seriously. And the report actually recommends this technique called habit stacking.
Habit stacking? What's that?
It's basically pairing a new habit like meditation with something you already do regularly.
Okay.
So, for example, you could meditate for 5 minutes while you drink your morning coffee.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Or make it part of your bedtime routine.
Right.
So you're not trying to create this whole new routine, you're just kind of slipping it into your existing habits.
Yeah, that makes it feel less overwhelming.
Exactly.
Thanks for listening to Mint Wellness. Feeling like you could do with a boost of mental clarity and greater calm in your busy life? OxyTap Water Solutions could help. And harness the power of nature with state-of-the-art cellular therapies to give you that extra edge to perform at your best and live life to the fullest. Speak to Mint Wellness practitioners and get a leg up on energy, clarity, and wellness. And now, back to the podcast.
While we're on the topic of incorporating new things into our routines, what about herbal wellness?
Oh, yeah, that's always interesting to me.
So have you heard about adaptogens?
I've heard the word, but I don't really know what they are.
Okay, so they're basically herbs that help your body adapt to stress.
Okay, like nature's stress busters.
Exactly. And the report mentions a few specific ones, like ashwagandha, which is great for supporting your adrenal function and lowering those cortisol levels we talked about earlier.
So if you're feeling constantly wired and stressed, ashwagandha could be helpful.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Then there's rhodiola, which is known for improving mental clarity and energy, but without the jitters you get from caffeine.
Oh, that's interesting. So it's like a more natural pick-me-up.
Exactly. And if you're looking for something to support your immune system and promote relaxation, they recommend reishi mushroom.
Okay.
It's like a calming tonic for both the body and mind.
This is all really cool, but how do you know which adaptogen is right for you?
That's a great question. I think it's always best to consult with a healthcare professional.
Right.
They can assess your individual needs and recommend the best option for you. And remember, quality matters, especially here in Singapore.
Yeah.
Always choose supplements that are high quality and third-party tested.
That makes sense. It's easy to get overwhelmed with all the choices out there.
Yeah, definitely. So we've got movement mindfulness, herbal allies, all these tools to help us combat burnout. But is there anything else the report recommends?
Fill me in.
They also highlight the importance of gratitude.
Oh, gratitude. Yeah, I know it's good for you, but how does it actually help with burnout?
Well, studies have shown that gratitude can actually lower cortisol levels.
Wow.
Yeah, it can also reduce inflammation and improve heart health.
So like those warm and fuzzy feelings of gratitude actually have a physical impact on the body.
Exactly. It's not just in your head, it actually affects your physiology.
That's wild.
It is. And they suggest starting a gratitude journal where you write down 3 things you're grateful for each day.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
It's a simple practice, but it can be really powerful for shifting your perspective and kind of rewiring your brain for happiness.
It's like a daily dose of positivity.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've covered a lot here, from nature therapy to movement and mindfulness to the power of gratitude.
We have.
But I think it's important to remember that burnout isn't just an individual issue, right?
Absolutely. It's also very much influenced by our social connections and our work environments.
Yeah. And that's what we're going to be diving into in the next part of our deep dive. All right, so we've talked about a lot of really practical things we can do to, deal with burnout, like forest bathing and gratitude journals.
Yeah, a lot of good strategies.
But as we kind of touched on last time, this isn't just a me problem, right? It's bigger than that.
You're absolutely right. The report really emphasizes how much our social circles and workplaces contribute to burnout, especially here in Singapore.
It's true. I mean, Singapore is known for being fast-paced and achievement-oriented, which is great in a lot of ways, but it can also create this pressure cooker environment.
Definitely.
Yeah.
There's this constant expectation to push yourself and achieve more to climb the ladder.
And that can really wear you down over time.
For sure. And the report talks about how social connections can be a double-edged sword.
Right. Like your friends and family can be a source of support, but they can also be a source of stress.
It's all about finding that balance. Are your relationships bringing you genuine support and positivity, or are they adding to the overwhelm?
Yeah, that's a good question to ask. And then there's the whole work-life balance thing, which honestly sometimes feels impossible.
It does sometimes feel impossible.
Yeah, especially here in Singapore.
The report doesn't use the phrase work-life balance specifically, but it's clear that our work environments play a huge role in burnout.
Oh, for sure. I mean, the long hours, the pressure, the constant drive to succeed.
It all takes a toll.
So what can we do about it? It feels like we're kind of fighting against a system that's designed to keep us grinding.
That's the tricky part. It's not just about individuals changing their habits. We need a shift in mindset at a societal level.
So employers need to create healthier work cultures where breaks are encouraged and mental well-being is prioritized.
Exactly. And maybe policymakers could step in with things like worker protections and policies that promote a more sustainable pace of life.
It's about creating a system that values well-being, not just productivity.
Exactly.
But that's a huge undertaking. It's not going to happen overnight. It's true. So in the meantime, what can we do individually? Besides all the strategies we've already talked about, well, Mint Wellness really emphasizes the importance of early intervention.
So don't wait until you're completely burned out to take action.
Exactly. Pay attention to the warning signs.
Like what kinds of things?
Changes in your mood energy levels, sleep patterns, anything that feels off.
So if you're feeling overwhelmed, exhausted, or just not like yourself, don't ignore those feelings.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to reach out for help.
Like talk to a friend, family member, therapist.
Yeah, or even explore some of those innovative treatments that Mint Wellness offers. Remember, you don't have to go through this alone.
That's so important. It's like they say, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Exactly. Investing in your well-being now is way better than trying to fix things later when you're already burned out.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into burnout in Singapore, I think the biggest takeaway is that this is a complex issue with no easy answers.
Yeah, that's fair to say. But it's not hopeless. By understanding the causes, recognizing the symptoms, and taking steps to prevent and address burnout, both individually and as a society, I think we can create a healthier and more resilient Singapore.
I agree with you there.
Your well-being matters. You deserve to thrive, not just survive. So thanks for joining us today. And remember, even small changes can make a big difference. Until next time, take care.
Thanks for joining us at Mint Wellness. Get a free bottle of Radiance, a powerful skin protectant. Just quote SP25 when you visit Mint Wellness. Until next time, stay well and keep thriving.